Time now for our Entre Nous segment, and today we're taking a deep dive into the political, cultural, and linguistic weight of cows here in France. For more on this, we can bring in Solange Mougin, who joins me in the studio. Solange, why are we talking about cows today?
Well, we're in the midst of an oh la vache moment, or a holy cow moment here in France, at least when it comes to cows, as they are not part of this year's famous Salon de L'Agriculture, or the Paris International Agricultural Fair. Now, this annual event, which runs until March 1st, is the cows are the missing star attraction. So we're going to go into why they were banned, why this fair really is an institution in France, and an essential stop for politicians as well. And finally, we'll discuss how the word cow, la vache, is sprinkled across the French language. So, to start, why are cows not at the fair? Well, it's because of lumpy skin disease, or dermatose nodulaire. This contagious bovine sickness reappeared in France in June last year, and it spread to some 117 sites. So the government put in place a controversial three-pronged response to try and wipe it out. This included culling entire herds, vaccinating cows nearby, blocking their transportation. It was highly disliked by farmers who were already reeling from the looming Mercosur trade deal and the struggling industry. But the outbreak plan worked, or has worked at least for now, but it has meant no cows at the fair. Now, this absence is not only tough on this year's fair and its farmers as well, who come basically to win prizes, but also to make business deals. And they've been doing this since it was launched by Charles de Gaulle in 1964, and even actually before that with Napoleon III's Expo Universelle. But this curtailed version, well, this year it's actually a reminder of tensions between farmers and the French government.
The fair, you mentioned it being an institution. It's also a test for politicians, right? Especially in the run-up to elections and things like that.
It really is. Politicians are judged on their ease around animals, the time that they spend at the fair, how much they eat and drink. Now, Emmanuel Macron holds the record of 14 hours and 30 minutes in a single day, beating out François Hollande's marathon. But the gold standard here, it goes hands down to, in regard to love of the fair, it goes to Jacques Chirac. He is said to have gone 39 times, and the story goes that he said you can't win an election without patting the rumps of cows. As we can see in this segment from 2018, he loved the crowds, he loved the cows, and he loved chowing down.
Presidents change, but the fair remains for them a popularity test. And the champion of handshakes and flank flattery remains Jacques Chirac, with his extraordinary appetite and famous phrases.
They aren't bovines, they're masterpieces.
So Solange, let's talk about the cows in particular. Why are they so significant here in France?
Well, France has more bovines than actually any nation in Europe. It had 16.4 million of them in 2024. This is according to Agres, the government statistics on this. But the number of cows, be it for meat, milk, or reproduction, it is decreasing in large part because smaller farms, they are closing. There are nearly 3 million fewer cows in France than there were a decade ago, let alone the loss of ancestral breeds as well. Now, that may be good for France's methane emissions, but France is still very much a meat and cheese-eating country. And if you go anywhere outside big cities, you will see cows. The milk ones are particularly prominent in what's called le croissant laitier, a croissant-shaped area that includes Brittany, Normandy, and departments along the English Channel. Now, most of them, or some 80% of these cows, they are the spotted breed called the Prime Holstein. Now, there are, of course, other breeds as well, ones that are linked to certain cheeses, such as l'Abondance, Montbéliard, Belgian Reds. And then elsewhere, across the country, there are the mostly made-for-meat cows, like the Charolaise, the Limousin, the Aubrac. And you see these breed names advertised at butchers here in France. And there is a sort of national pride around France's cows, one that is linked to its history of agricultural growth and wealth as well.
Cows that are bred for meat did not exist in the 18th and 19th centuries. The breeds are used for working the fields or for their milk that farmers fatten up. You must understand that if you want to fatten up a cow, you need to keep it in a barn for 6 months in the winter and to feed it a lot, and that requires having an excess of wheat and crops. In the 18th and early 19th century, we didn't have that.
Now, today, cow imagery often elicits ideas of abundance and goodness. Just take vache qui rit, or milk of chocolate, or even the current campaign for cow bancaires, bank carts, with its red, white, and blue cows. So there is this positive imagery around cows, even if linguistically, though, it is very much a different story.
Let's talk about the language, because most words related to cows are really kind.
Yeah, linguistically, it really is a mixed bag. There is, of course, oh la vache, or holy cow. There's être vache, to be mean, much like vacherie, which is a nasty remark, as well as grosse vache, or a fat cow. There's vachement, well, it's a bit positive, as in c'est vachement bien, or it's really good. Another one with a similar English expression is a vache à lait, or a cash cow. There's peau de vache as well, a nasty person, a mean-spirited person. As for downpours, there's pleuvoir comme vache qui pisse, or it's raining cats and dogs. Then there's l'amour vache, or a mean love, a love mixed with violence and meanness. There's le plancher des vaches, or being on solid ground. It's a mariner term. And then there's the really derogatory ones, like parigot tête de veau, or dumb Parisians, or parler le français comme une vache espagnole. That means speaking French very badly. There are many, many more, but it is a case in point that there are vachement de vaches, or loads of cows in all sorts of ways in French culture. They're just not at this year's fair.
I know, missing in action. Thank you very much for that, Solange. Solange there with our Entre Nous, and that's it for this edition. You can check out other editions on our website, france24.com.